fan showed up with a hand-drawn MinKyo romantic artwork, held it out to him, and Minho did not just sign it. What he did next is sending the entire community into a full emotional meltdown, and MinKyo fans are absolutely losing it over every single detail of how this moment unfolded. Was this just a polite celebrity gesture or something far more revealing about how Minho actually feels about MinKyo? Stay till the end because the details will wreck you in the best possible way. Before we break it all down, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications because MinKyo moments are dropping fast and you cannot afford to miss one. Now let us talk about what everyone is completely falling apart over. You have to understand the specific courage it takes to walk up to Minho at a fan event holding a drawing of him and Song Hye-kyo together before we can even begin to process what happened next. This was not a standard autograph moment. This was not a fan handing over a photo card or a drama poster or a professionally printed photograph of him looking spectacular in some campaign. This was a human being who had sat down at some point, possibly for many hours, and drawn with their own hands a romantic portrait of Minho and Song Hye-kyo as a couple, as MinKyo, as the pairing that this entire community has built itself around, and then carried that drawing to a public event and decided, with full knowledge of what it represented and what it was asking, to place it directly in front of Minho himself and see what he would do. That decision required something. It required the specific bravery of a fan who loves something enough to make themselves completely visible in their loving of it. Fan culture involves a kind of vulnerability that people outside of it sometimes struggle to fully appreciate. When you love a pairing the way MinKyo fans love this one, when you have invested genuine emotional energy and genuine time and genuine hope into the belief that two people belong together, expressing that love in public is an act of exposure. You are showing someone, in this case the actual subject of your feeling, exactly how much you have been paying attention and exactly what you believe about them and exactly where your heart has been living for however long you have been part of this community. The fan who brought that drawing to Minho was doing all of that simultaneously. Showing the artwork, showing the hope, showing the love. All of it in one held-out piece of paper, directly to the man at the center of it. Minho saw it. And what Minho did next is the reason we are all here. Let us first talk about the drawing itself because it deserves that before we move to his response. The artwork that has been circulating in MinKyo spaces since this moment became public is genuinely remarkable, not in the way that anything created by a celebrity or a professional artist is remarkable, not with the technical polish of someone who has trained for years, but with a specific kind of remarkability that belongs to art made from pure feeling. You can tell when someone has drawn something because they needed to draw it. You can tell when the hand moving across the paper was being guided not primarily by technical skill but by emotional compulsion, by the need to make visible something that was living inside and needed external form. This MinKyo drawing has that quality. It has the quality of something that had to exist. The artist drew Minho and Song Hye-kyo in a romantic composition, close together, the specific physical proximity of the drawing communicating everything about what the artist understands and believes about their connection. The details fans have noted in the artwork speak to close, attentive observation of both subjects. This was not a casual sketch. This was an act of love rendered in lines and shading, and the particular devotion of someone who has looked at Minho and Song Hye-kyo long enough and deeply enough to understand how they should look standing beside each other. And Minho held it. This is where the moment begins to earn its emotional weight, and it earns it through a detail so specific and so unscripted that no one who witnessed it has been able to stop talking about it since. Fan events move fast. They are logistically intense, carefully managed, designed to move large numbers of people through proximity to a star in the most efficient way possible while still generating the feeling of genuine connection that is the whole point of such events. Stars develop through necessity, a certain practiced velocity in these situations. The autograph, the smile, the next person, the autograph, the smile, the next person. The rhythm is established and maintained not out of coldness but out of practicality. There are always more people waiting. There is always a schedule. The machinery of a fan event has its own momentum, and that momentum is generally respected by everyone inside it. Minho broke the momentum. When the MinKyo drawing was placed in front of him, he stopped. Not the polite half-stop of a star who has glanced at something and registered it before moving forward. Full stop. A genuine, unscheduled, nothing else exists right now stop that lasted long enough for the people immediately around him to notice that something different was happening. He looked at the drawing. Not at it the way you look at something that is in your hands and requires a signature. He looked at it the way you look at something that has caught your actual attention. That has entered your actual consciousness. That has prompted an actual response from somewhere inside you rather than from the professional surface of you that knows how to handle fan events with grace and warmth and appropriate efficiency. He looked at it for a long moment. And in that long moment, something moved across his face. MinKyo fans who have been studying Lee Minho's face for years, who have catalogued the specific geography of his expressions across thousands of public appearances and interviews and filmed performances, have been in sustained conversation about exactly what that expression was. Because it is not a simple expression. It is not one thing. It contains multiple things simultaneously in the way that genuine unscripted emotional responses always contain multiple things, because real feelings are not clean and singular the way performed feelings can be. The expression that moved across Lee Minho's face when he looked at that MinKyo drawing has been described variously as surprised recognition, as something tender, as something that might have been the specific expression of a person seeing their private world reflected back at them from an unexpected source and not being entirely prepared for how it would feel to see it. Several fan accounts used the word moved. He looked moved. Not overwhelmed. Not embarrassed. Not the careful neutral of a star who has received something that requires delicate public navigation. Moved. Genuinely, quietly, unmistakably moved. Then he signed it. But the signing is not where the story ends. The signing is not even the most significant part of what happened, which is saying something because the fact that he signed a MinKyo romantic drawing is already significant. What happened after the signing, in the seconds between his pen leaving the paper and the drawing being returned to the fan, is what has genuinely broken MinKyo fans open in the best possible way. He said something. Quietly, in the way you say something when you are not saying it for the room but for the person in front of you, he said something to the fan. The exact words have not been fully confirmed and different accounts have captured different fragments of it, but the consistent thread across all the accounts is the same. Whatever he said, it was kind. It was warm. It was personal in a way that exceeded the standard warmth of celebrity interaction. It was the response of a person who had genuinely received what was being offered rather than professionally processed it. The fan, by all accounts, was crying before they stepped away from the table. Let us sit with that for a moment. Let us sit with the image of Lee Minho, one of the most globally recognized stars in Korean entertainment, at a fan event surrounded by logistics and schedules and the organized momentum of the celebrity industrial complex, taking a full genuine pause to actually see a MinKyo drawing, actually feel something about it, actually sign it with real attention, and actually say something personal enough to the fan who made it that the fan left crying. Not the tears of disappointment or awkwardness or the complicated emotion of an interaction that went wrong. The tears of someone whose love was received, whose offering was seen, whose hope, drawn by hand on paper and carried across however much distance to that event, was treated by the person at the center of it as something real and worthy of real response. The significance of Lee Minho specifically being the one to respond this way cannot be overstated in the context of the larger MinKyo story. Song Hye-kyo is a person whose emotional depth is more visibly part of her public presentation. Her warmth is known. Her expressiveness in appropriate contexts is documented. A heartfelt response from her to a MinKyo gesture would be beautiful and entirely consistent with what the world knows of her. But Lee Minho operates behind a more composed public exterior. He is the one who has spent years being described as magnetic and aspirational and slightly removed, not cold, never cold, but elevated in the way that some very beautiful, very famous people are elevated by the combination of their appearance and their star power into something that functions less like a person and more like an icon. Icons do not usually get visibly moved by fan drawings. Icons manage their responses. Icons know how to receive an offering with grace while keeping their own interior weather private. Lee Minho has been an icon for a long time. He knows how to do all of that. He chose not to with that drawing in that moment. He chose to actually feel it and let the feeling be visible in the way it moved across his face and landed in the quiet specific thing he said to the fan. That choice tells you something essential about where he is right now and what MinKyo means to him. The fan community's response to this moment has operated on several distinct frequencies simultaneously, and following those frequencies is its own kind of study in what MinKyo fandom actually is and what it means to the people inside it. The first frequency is pure joy. The clean, uncomplicated delight of seeing the man at the center of the ship treat a piece of MinKyo fan art with genuine tenderness. Every MinKyo fan who has ever made something, drawn something, written something, edited something out of love for this pairing and felt the particular exposure of having made their love visible in that way has felt seen by proxy in this moment. Lee Minho treating that drawing with care was Lee Minho treating all of it with care. The whole community of loving and making and hoping and creating that MinKyo fans have been engaged in. He touched it gently. He responded to it genuinely. He gave the person who made it something real in return. That is the first frequency, and it is a wave of pure warmth. The second frequency is more complex, and it is the one that the most emotionally astute members of the community keep returning to. What does it mean that Lee Minho did not deflect? What does it mean that he did not respond to the MinKyo drawing with the polished professional warmth that keeps the recipient at a comfortable managed distance? Stars have 1,000 ways to be kind to fans without being revealing. A smile and a signature and a thank you and a next person. That is the formula, and it works, and it is entirely adequate for the purpose of the interaction. Lee Minho had access to that formula. He did not use it. He used something else instead. Something less managed and more genuine and far more interesting. And the question the community keeps asking, with a particular focused attention of people who have spent years learning to read what is not being said, is why? Why did the MinKyo drawing specifically prompt the departure from the formula? Why did those two figures drawn together in a romantic composition move through the professional surface of Lee Minho and land somewhere underneath it? The answer that keeps forming in fan discourse, arriving from different directions through different analytical frameworks but consistently pointing the same way, is that it landed underneath because underneath is where MinKyo lives for him too. Because the drawing was not only a piece of fan art representing a ship, it was a reflection of something true. And when you are presented with a reflection of something true about yourself, something that the person holding the mirror has perceived with care and rendered with love, the managed distance collapses. You cannot maintain composed professional warmth in the face of being genuinely seen. Something more honest surfaces instead. And what surfaced on Lee Minho's face over that drawing was honest. MinKyo fans recognized it immediately because they have been watching for it for a long time and they know exactly what it looks like when it arrives. Let us now examine what this moment represents in the longer arc of Lee Minho's relationship with the MinKyo community specifically. He has been aware of the community. He has been aware of the fan art and the analyses and the videos and the threads and the entire ecosystem of love and attention that has built itself around his name beside Song Hye-kyo's. Stars at his level are aware of these things. They have teams who monitor the conversation. They exist in an information environment where it is virtually impossible not to know that a significant portion of your fan base has decided, with a particular conviction of people who have been paying very close attention, that you belong with a specific person. He knows. He has known for some time. And his responses to that knowledge, in the rare moments when anything in his public conduct has brushed against it, have been notable for what they have not been. He has not dismissed it. He has not deployed the careful, slightly pained professional smile of a star who is enduring a fan narrative they find uncomfortable. He has not activated the subtle distancing mechanisms that celebrities use to redirect fandom energy away from territory they want protected. He has been, in his quiet way, something closer to accepting of it. And the moment with a drawing is the most explicit that acceptance has ever been made visible. The drawing itself will now be one of the most significant objects in MinKyo fandom history, and that is not an overstatement. It exists at the intersection of fan devotion and celebrity response in a way that almost never happens with this degree of authenticity. Most fan art presented to celebrities at events is received with a standard warmth and processed efficiently, and that is completely appropriate and no criticism is implied. But occasionally, rarely, a piece of art presented to its subject lands with a different weight and generates a different response and creates a moment that the fan who made it will carry for the rest of their life and that the wider community will return to as evidence of something they believed before they could prove it. This drawing is that. Lee Minho's response to it is that. The fans standing at that table, shaking probably, holding out the thing they made from love, and watching Lee Minho actually stop and actually see it and actually be moved by it. That is a moment that contains the whole MinKyo story in miniature. The making of something from belief. The courage of making it visible. The extraordinary grace of having the belief received and honored by the person at the center of it. What this moment also does, and this is perhaps its most lasting significance for the MinKyo community, is it reframes the relationship between Lee Minho and the fans who have dedicated themselves to this pairing. Fan communities exist in an asymmetrical relationship with their subjects by definition. The fans know the stars far better than the stars know the fans. The fans have invested enormous time and energy into understanding, analyzing, hoping, and creating around people who are largely unaware of them as individuals and aware of them only in aggregate as audience. That asymmetry is normal and expected and does not diminish the value of what fans feel or create. But moments like the drawing moment puncture it. They create a brief, electric, completely genuine symmetry in which the star and the fan are briefly in the same emotional register. Both of them present. Both of them affected. Both of them in the same real moment rather than on opposite sides of the celebrity-fan divide. Lee Minho crossed to the fan's side in that moment. He came down from the managed distance of his public presentation and met the fan in the emotional territory where MinKyo lives for both of them. For the fan who made the drawing, that crossing will have felt like being seen in the fullest possible sense. Like the years of loving and watching and creating and believing and hoping all resolved in the single moment of that response. Like the investment was not only worthwhile but was specifically, personally, directly acknowledged by the person it was about. That is a rare gift. That is something that the fan will describe to people for the rest of their life. That is the kind of moment that justifies every hour spent drawing and every nerve spent walking up to a table and every vulnerability involved in showing someone your love in the form of something you made with your hands. The MinKyo community deserves to celebrate this moment with the full understanding of what it actually is. It is not just a cute fan event story. It is not just content for a video. It is evidence. It is the most direct, unscripted, unmanaged evidence this community has yet received that the love being poured into MinKyo is not flowing into a void. That the pairing the community has devoted itself to is not a wishful construction built entirely from the outside. That Lee Minho himself, when presented with a romantic portrait of himself and Song Hye-kyo drawn with care by someone who believes in them, does not look away, does not deflect, does not manage the moment into something safer and less revealing. He stops, he looks, he feels something, he lets it show. He says something true to the person who made it. That is MinKyo. That is what this community has always known was real. And now it has a face and a moment and a drawing with a signature on it in the hands of a fan who cried walking away from the table. And none of us are entirely okay and all of us are completely glad. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Tell us what this moment means to you. Tell us if you have ever made MinKyo fan art and how it felt to see Lee Minho respond this way to someone who did. Tell us where you were when this story hit your feed and what your face did when you realized what had happened. Like this video, share it with every MinKyo fan you know, and subscribe because this story is moving towards something and every moment between here and there is going to be worth being present for. This drawing, this signature, this fan crying happy tears walking away from a table where Lee Minho stopped everything to actually see what she made. This is not the end of anything. This is one more piece of the picture. And the picture, MinKyo fans, is becoming more beautiful with every detail that fills it in.